Hello and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation, your daily Rangers news channel, guys. If you want to make sure you never miss out on the content, and hit the sub, ring the notification bell, and you'll never miss out on the free content, guys. It is match day, and it's match day as it was truly intended always to be, Saturday, 3 o'clock. And you know what? Listening to some pods on the way home from work last night, and whilst I was out walking the dog after midnight, it was a very late night last night, awful delivery round some very flooded areas. But I know you've had it really bad in Scotland, so I hope everyone is safe up there. But look, it seems that there's a real, I don't know, kind of renewed vigor, a renewed excitement, a desire to actually want to go to Ibrox. I mean, I heard some fans and talking about the fact that, you know, when it was Michael Beale in the last few games of Michael Beale, people actually didn't want to go to the game. They saw it as a chore, but they go because they knew they had to go because it's supporting the club we love, and that's what we do, isn't it? So it seems that Phillipe Clement has really given a love back for the club. And look, whilst Phillipe himself said yesterday that it's not going to be the perfect game today, and I don't think any of us expect that at all, because he hadn't had time to work with the vast majority of the squad due to international duty and injuries, etc. And you know, one thing that actually not just one thing, there's a few things that came out of yesterday's press conference that really kind of spoke to me in terms of, as a Rangers fan, was number one, as I said on the video yesterday, we seem to have a proper football manager now, someone who actually understands what it is to be a football manager, what a coach and a good coach needs to do for a football team to make progress. Michael Beale, for me, seemed absolutely clueless. You know, he didn't have a clue, and I think that kind of reflected on his players, didn't it, as well? You know, his players didn't understand what they were supposed to be doing, where they were supposed to be playing, or anything. And there was so many things that Phillipe Clement said yesterday that really shows that he understands where we are as a team, that where we are as a team and where we need to get to as a team if we're going to really smash that lot from across the city. Now, quote number one that spoke to me yesterday, guys, and I rewatched the press conference last night when I got home, was number one, no more lateral passing, no backwards passing, forwards, brave attacking football. Like I said on the video yesterday, how many times did football go like this? Ball goes to Barisic. Barisic runs to halfway. He stops. He turns round. He passes it backwards to Suter or Davis, who then passes it sideways to Goldson, who then passes it sideways to Tavernier. Tavernier runs forward a little bit, passes it sideways to Lundstrom. He passes it back to Goldson, who passes it sideways to Suter, back to Barisic. Barisic runs forward, turns round, passes it back again. It was just boring football, and kind of reflective of where we are with that old guard, you know, this serial loser mentality that they've really got in them. But, you know, Clement really seems to me to be a person who will not suffer fools gladly and will challenge this. And look, what I'd love to see today, if, you know, Barisic plays, if Goldson plays, if whoever plays, and we don't really know the lineup, I can only guess, and I will be trying to guess a lineup near the end of the video, so please hang on for that. But, you know, if Barisic does his usual where he runs to halfway, turns around, passes it back, runs to halfway, turns around, passes it back, I'd love to see Phillipe Clement go, you off. You're not listening to me. You're not doing what I've asked you to do, which is pass the ball forward. Get off. Be strict with the players. Show them you're not going to take any crap off them anymore, which I think that's the problem. Gio and Michael Beale took too much crap off some of these players, and especially the Barisics, Taverniers, Goldsons, Lundstroms of this world, who've, let's face it, let the last two managers down and let them get sacked. Second thing that he said to me is that he really spoke to me about. He said about the need to have a clear structure, a clear way of playing. Brilliant. How many times is that what we've called out for after every single game? An identity, a structure, a set of tactics, a clear vision for the players to know what they're going to do. It was fantastic. And the last thing I want to bring up is fitness. Now, how many times have we suffered in the last couple of seasons under Gio and under Beale with injury after injury after injury? And for me, Clement spoke very well about this, and you've kind of got to read between the lines. Now, one thing Clement was brilliant at yesterday was saying nothing, not saying too much, but just, if you read between the lines, knowing what he was on about. He didn't have the verbal diarrhea of Michael Beale, you know, where some of the reporters asked some really stupid questions trying to get a headline out of him yesterday, and some of the reporters need to be ashamed of themselves. But Clement was very clever. He didn't give them the headline. He didn't give them the satisfaction of giving them that answer. So, yeah, what did he say? He said he works very closely with the medical staff. He wants to know every single detail of what is going on with his players, which is fantastic. And also that he needs to set physical targets for the players in terms of fitness. Because he talked about the fact that the training needs to change at the club. it's interesting, isn't it? It's what we've all kind of been saying. They must be doing something wrong in training to have this many injuries. And I think Clement kind of said that yesterday, didn't he? So for me, that was excellent. And then he talked about the fact that, his clubs, that they had 90% availability of playing staff throughout his time there due to the training methods and everything. So I'm hoping that Clement and his way of working will enable us to limit the number of injuries that we're getting game day and training. Yes, I know some of them are unavoidable because we've got hammer throwers in this league who just seem to want to kick the crap out of our players no matter what, and you can't avoid those injuries. But the muscle injuries you can avoid through good training methods, through good strength and conditioning, through good stretching, through good diet, through water intake, all these things that I'm sure Clement, as a manager and as a continental manager, will understand. So it's all, for me, it was very positive what came out of it at the press conference yesterday. And to me, he seemed to really understand Rangers and understand where we're at as a club and where we need to get to. And the fact that he talked about, not trying to throw everything in at once and hoping it happens. For me, that was Michael Beale's management style. Throw enough stuff at the wall, hope something sticks. Whereas Clement seems to be right. We target something, we improve it one week, we then take it and we improve something else, and we build on it. I mean, it was so refreshing, guys, to hear someone talk like an actual real coach who knows what he is genuinely talking about, rather than some clueless used car salesman, which was what Michael Beale really was. Also, interesting comment about Danilo yesterday, wasn't it? That we will need him for the game. It just sort of bear a reflection on the fact that some of our players are not fit enough or not good enough to play for this club. The fact that he said Kemar Roofe is not available for 90 minutes. He didn't mention him obviously directly by name, but it shows what perhaps the Dessers is just genuinely useless. But look, today we kind of give a clean slate to everybody, don't we? We kind of give a new start to everybody, a chance to rebuild their careers and to restart their careers at Rangers under this new manager. I'll be absolutely fascinated to see the green shoots that Clement talked about, the changes that he talked about, in his press conference yesterday. So, look, Clement, I think for me, is coming across as being a very good appointment. Yes, I know the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So what we see on the park on a Saturday, on a Sunday, on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, on a Tuesday, on whatever day you play these days. Let's face it, football is played virtually 24/7, 365, isn't it? So, yeah, whenever you see Rangers on a park, what we actually see week on week, improvement on improvement, progress on progress, that's what we need to see over the coming weeks. And I'm sure that Phillipe Clement, with our faith, with our backing, and we do need to back him and give him the time to succeed, will deliver that. He does seem to have that track record. Forget the Monaco times. Monaco are a basket case of a club. Their fans are basket cases as well. I've had some interactions with them on X, and they are weird. But Genk and Bruges and Vaslan Beveren, we saw him have success, move the team forward, make the team make progress, get the team to look better and really improve. And I think that's something he can do at the club. Right, didn't mean to press that button. Okay, so before we talk about the game today, there was an interesting article about Graeme Souness and his involvement in the recruitment process. Now, I think there's a lot of crap been spoken about Graeme Souness, the fact that he wanted Frank Lampard and Frank Lampard was his man, and I don't think that was actually the case. I think that's just Talk Sport looking for a story, looking for something to make up. Graeme Souness was part of the interview process, as we know, and he spoke about the fact that he was involved in the interview process and how impressed he was with Phillipe Clement. So look, anyone who gets Graeme Souness' backing, is definitely someone who I definitely want to see, and I definitely want to see at our club. Graeme Souness said, "I was part of the process in appointing new Rangers boss Phillipe Clement. He was very impressive at his interview and gave a great presentation. All you can do is look at his CV, the colour of his eyes and the way he speaks about football, and everything would appear to be right about him." Now, those three things there are something that I think you need to do it with a manager, not the PowerPoint presentations of Michael Beale, not the flashy lights that obviously, that Bennett, Park and Bennett and Stuart Robertson, the clueless Stuart Robertson, were impressed with. So this bit here is CV, which, yes, he has got a great track record, winning trophies in Belgium, winning the league 3 seasons in a row. Look into his eyes, look at the desire there. The eyes are the window to the soul, I think Kevin Bridges once said. And the way he speaks about football, his knowledge of football. The only question mark, and I'd be saying the same if it was Pep Guardiola was getting the job, is that managing one of the big two in Glasgow is a unique experience, and that it's how he deals with that. And that's spot on. Like, you could appoint Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, Joachim Löw. I don't know who the Argentine World Cup win coach was, but these guys here, you can impress them, but managing in Glasgow is a different experience, being with the cauldron of the old firm. And yes, it is how he deals with that. The challenge ahead is simple. They're 7 points behind Celtic. He knows the score. You can't have a good season without finishing first. He said, I understand it's increasingly so it looks like as well from what is being said that Graeme Souness will be coming back to the club in some sort of advisory role, taking some sort of football, not director of football, but certainly some sort of advisory role for the board in terms of football appointments. And that for me is good news. Graeme is a man who not only understands football, but understands the club. And can we get away from this rubbish that he wanted Frank Lampard? I think we now know that this is absolutely clueless comments. And, Talk Sport, like I said, Jim White and Simon Jordan are very entertaining, don't get me wrong, but they do talk a lot of crap about Rangers, especially Simon Jordan. Anyway, so look, today is match day. We're obviously focusing on the Hibs game, a game that we go into with aspirations to obviously to win, and we should be winning. It's like I said on the podcast the other day. We need to stop. We really do need to stop this ridiculousness of this team are going to provide us a tough opposition. This team they're going to do this, they're going to do that. We are Rangers. We need to be going into games and actually thinking, look, how many do we score today? How many do we put on this opposition? We are Rangers. Look, across the city, I hate praising them. I hate talking positively about them because I can't stand them. But look at it this way. They are a club when they go to Kilmarnock, when they play Hibernian, when they go to Aberdeen, when they go to Fir Park, when they go to Ross County. They don't go with it's going to be tough because Ross County are going to do this, Kilmarnock, Hibs are going to come and do this. They go with the fact that we are that lot. We are going to attack. We're going to fight. We're going to get at them, and we're going to score 5 or 6 goals. And we're not going to take our foot off the throat, and we're going to attack them. That's what we need to get back to. The Rangers of old, the Rangers of Walter Smith, the Rangers of Dick Advocat, the Rangers of Graeme Souness that didn't give a stuff about who we were playing. It was all about us and what we did on a match day, and that's what we need to get back to. And I think Phillipe Clement will do that. He's talking about wanting to have the best team in the league, the strongest team, the most physical team in the league. All stuff that, when Rangers were great, that's what we had, strong, physical teams. Now, let's have a quick look. We look at, obviously, where we're up to at this moment in time with the Scottish Premier League. And we look at, we look at the table. There's the table there. So the table, as it currently sits, we've got, so obviously, we're in second place, unfortunately, behind that lot. St Mirren in third, Hearts in fourth, Motherwell in fifth, Livingston in sixth, Hibernian in seventh. Now, Hibernian are unbeaten in their last 5, but that's 3 draws and 2 victories. So it's a very much a draw specialist team there. In terms of them this season, they have got 2 victories, 3 draws, 3 defeats. They've got an even goal difference and only 9 points. This is a game that we have to win, guys. We look at that last 5 games for us. That's not good. 2 defeats out of 5 is pretty shocking, and it's something we need to get away from. If you look at Hibernian's record, their last few games, they drew 2-2 with Hearts, 0-0 with Dundee. They won 4-2 against St Mirren, which is a bit of a shock result. They beat St Johnstone 2-0, drew 2-2 with Kilmarnock, beat Aberdeen 2-0. So they've had some reasonable results. But look, at the end of the day, like I said, we are Rangers. We need to go into this game, and it needs to be a case where we go and we play our football, we attack them, we get after them, and we play positively like Phillipe Clement wants us to do. If we do that, we've got a great chance of winning this game today. And we should be winning this game today. And if you want to obviously come and join for the live stream, guys, there is a live stream coming up. We started just before 3 o'clock. Please come and join me for that. And we'll also hopefully have a bit of a live with the breaking team news, which is obviously very exciting moments for the club. Now, look, I don't think any of us can predict his lineup for today. I think there's a lot of uncertainty, especially given the fact, he said that Todd Cantwell can't play 90 minutes and Jack Ryan, I'm sure he was the director of the CIA, apparently now plays for us. He can't play 90 minutes. He can't, he's been back and available. Lawrence is out. Matondo's out. Roof can't play 90 minutes. Ridvan is back and is fit. Fuentes is out. There's a lot of interesting team news there. Now, I've had a little guess. I don't expect to be right on this, and I'd love to know what are your lineups. But one thing I do not want to see today is I don't want to see Dessers start. I don't want to see Lundstrom start. I want to see this team really go for it. Preferably, I don't think this will happen. I don't even want to see Dessers on the bench. I want to see him in the stands, realistically. But this is my guess at a team for today's game. So, obviously, Jack Butland in goal, who's been absolutely phenomenal this season. A back 4, James Tavernier, Connor Goldson. Look, we all have our own thoughts on them. My thoughts on them. They will start today. He's not going to leave them out, not in his first game. Suter and Yilmaz. I want to see Yilmaz start. I just think he offers so much more going forward. Borna Barisic is too... Look, the Hajduk split manager made a great point during the week when he said that he wouldn't pick Borna Barisic for his team or for Croatia because he's too slow, too negative, and passes back too many times. I mean, what a great assessment. Give him a job, man. Give him a job. Jack and Raskin are in front of the back four. I just think when Jack's in the team, he lets people go and be themselves. And Nicholas Raskin's best performances have come when Ryan Jack has been in the team. I'd love to see Ross McCausland given a start, given a chance to play, especially with Tom Lawrence been out. You know, he looked good in the last couple of games. He's come on, he's been lively, he's had a go. Clement's spoken about wanting to give young players a chance. I'd love to see McCausland. Cantwell, I think, needs to start, give him 50, 60 minutes. You know, play him in that 10 role. That's where he was playing best. I don't understand why Beale ripped that up and kind of put Lammers there and let drop Cantwell back deeper, and Cantwell wasn't effective. Why? Because Beale threw away what was working. So yeah, give Cantwell the 10. Seamer from the left. I think Seamer provides you width, a good attacking threat. I can inside forward in that position. A lot of Clement's teams had a winger, which would be McCausland, and an inside forward, which would be Seamer. And I think you start Danilo, even if you only get 60 minutes out of him. I'd rather see 60 minutes of Danilo than 90 minutes of Dessers. I'd rather see 60 minutes of my mum playing up front than 90 minutes of Dessers, if I'm being honest. But look, that's how I would start. I just think that it gives us the best chance to get a couple of goals up, and then we can sort of start to make substitutions and hopefully bring some of the young lads on as well. You know, if they're on the bench, Rice and McKinnon, those players, an opportunity to play. Well, let me know what you think anyway. Drop me a comment below and let me know how you would start the game today. Guys, we're all buzzing, looking forward to the game today. Come and join me for the live stream. Prediction for today, 3-0 Rangers. That's my prediction. Confident. Let's go for it. 3-0 Rangers and an improved performance. Well, guys, as always, if you've enjoyed the content, please hit the sub. And on the way out, two things, guys. Number one, smash the like. And number two, remember, we are the people.